I'm really happy to be joining the Altenew Adventures Ahead release video hop, and today I'm going to be using the Sisters of the Heart stamp, simple colouring stencils and matching die set to create 2 cards. Hey crafty people, it's Tash here. Welcome back to my channel. If you like this video then please do give it a thumbs up, and if you aren't already subscribed I'd love it if you would consider it. So here we have the Sisters of the Heart stamp set, simple colouring stencils and dies. So they are all available separately and they work together to make it really easy and quick to make some beautiful cards. So the Sisters of the Heart stamp set comes with 2 large images and then 1 sort of swoopy additional. The die set cuts all 3 of these out, and then the simple layering stencil allows you to colour them all in really simply, hence the name. So if you've not previously looked at the trifold that you get with these large stamp sets, then I really do encourage you to check those out. They're a great place to get some ideas on placement and colour combinations that you could use, but there's also 4 full-size card panels in there that you can either use to recreate yourself, or you can actually cut them out and just stick them straight on a card base. So because this is the first time that I've used this stamp, I'm going to use my stamp conditioning tool to make sure that I'm going to get the best transfer of image that I can possibly get. Another way that I'm going to ensure that is by using the Obsidian Black Pigment ink. This is my favourite and my go-to ink for pretty much anything really. We are going to be making 2 cards today, so I'm going to stamp out this large image twice, and as you can see it takes up the majority of an A2 card panel, and then I'm going to stamp the smaller floral image twice, and that will fit both those on 1 card panel. So here are the stencils. They each got numbers on, and if you have a look at the back of the package you can see that the number that's on the stencil, it will show you what number stencil you need to colour each part of the image. The other thing as well, the numbers are good because you want to make sure that you can read the number, it's not backwards. If it's backwards then you've got your stencil the wrong way around, so that helps as well. As you can see it's quite easy to get them lined up. All I had to do was I placed that opening over the right part of the image and just turned it until you can really sort of see it lock in place, and you can tell that it is in the right area. So I'm just going to cover up all of the open areas just with some low-tack tape, scrap paper, anything that I have on hand basically. I have also taped the stencil down to my card panel so that I'm not going to get it moving round. That bit that I'm covering up there, don't do that. That is actually supposed to be coloured at this point with the large floral image. I should have known because it fitted perfectly, but I didn't. So I did have to go back and do that. So I made the mistake so you don't have to. I'm going to be using the Sugar Plum ink family to colour my images today, and I'm using the Altenew large and smaller ink blending brushes. I really love these. I think that they just make ink blending so much easier and quicker, especially when you're doing large areas. This large brush is brilliant for that. So if you've never used these colouring stencils before, basically what it is, you layer them up. So the first, you would put down the most open part of the image first, and that's going to be in your lightest colour, and then each layer you add you're going to get darker and darker because that is layering your shadows in place, and you're going to get a really beautifully coloured image and really easily and quickly. And for that reason I also encourage you, if you're going to do these, then, do a few at a time. If you've got all of the equipment out that you need to do it, then, you may as well do multiples. I like to do some and I just slot them into the back of the stamp package, and then whenever I need to make a card really quickly, I've got that stuff on hand to do it. So yeah, I think it's a really good idea to do that. So I'm just going to go through all of the florals and colour them in. Yeah, I'm not going to show you everything because you don't need to see that. I'm just going to show you each portion of the image once. So whilst I'm ink blending away there, now would be a really good time for you to hit that like button if you are enjoying this video. And if you aren't already subscribed, then I would really love it if you would consider it. I share lots of card making inspiration, ideas and crafty hacks and tricks to help you make some beautiful cards. And that's what we're doing today. So as you can see, it's just really easy to get the images coloured and ready to go. That's why I love these stencils so much. I mean, I love colouring, I do, but sometimes you don't have time or energy or the inclination to actually do it. So that's when I think these stencils are just awesome. On the finer detail parts, like on these leaves, some of the parts of the stencil could get damaged if you are sort of going round and round blending. So that's why in parts here I'm actually just doing more of a back and forth motion so that I know that I'm not going to damage the stencil in any way. The die, I didn't want to ruin my beautiful hard work, so in order to make sure that I had the die in the right place, I cut it first from some scrap cardstock, and then I popped that over the top of my image so that I could see where the die would cut, and just put my die into that space. It just locks back in place, and then I know that I've got the perfect right area to be die cutting. I love that these dies, they're really intricate and it cuts out all the little space in between the image, so that makes it perfect for the techniques that I'm going to be using today. So now we're going to assemble our cards. I used the new Waffled Diamonds embossing folder to just emboss some of this tan buff cardstock that I have, and I'm going to be making a mini slimline. Now, if you've not made a mini slimline before, it's sort of the same as with slimline in that there are lots of different measurements out there, different ways people create them. Here I've done 3.5 by 6.5, and I just think it's fun to swap up the size of card that you do sometimes. So I attached one of the large images, and then everywhere where it goes off the card I'm going to trim that off, and I am going to repurpose that for the second card that we're making. So I've made a sentiment using the Tall Alpha lowercase die set, and I've just die cut the word hello from some £110 Nina, and I've just stacked up 3, I think, of those just to give my sentiment a bit more heft. So moving on to our second card design. So that one's really easy. So moving on, I've got all of the other images, the ones that I coloured, die cut, and then the bit, that floral that I cut off from the other one, and I'm just trying to arrange them onto this card panel. So I do sort of move them around quite a bit at first, just to decide where I wanted them to go. I wanted to get the look that this is a piece of pattern paper that's cut from a larger piece. So you want to make sure that your images go off the edge of the page, and that way that gives that impression that it's all one piece. And but any bits that you do cut off, you can reuse to fill in some of those smaller spaces. So yeah, I move things around quite a lot, but here is where I sort of thought, yeah, I like that. That looks good. So I added foam tape to the back of the images. It would have been so much easier to just die cut some foam, like some fun foam or something to put on the back, or even just die cut several layers of cardstock. But I don't know, I didn't think of that at the time. So instead I cut up lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of tiny pieces of foam to add on. So that's a bit silly, but hey. So I'm just going to add all of those on in place until I'm happy with the coverage that I have over the whole card panel. As I said before, this is a video hop, and as such I'm going to have the link to the person following me in the hop down below in my description, along with some more information about this awesome Adventures Ahead release from Altenew. So for my sentiment for that second card, I die cut the Waterbrush Hello from some black cardstock, and I added that on top of a rectangle of vellum just to give a little bit of space, and I added a few acrylic dots to each card. If for any reason you get lost along the way of the hop, you can head straight to Altenew's channel and they will have a video there that is the start of the hop, so that you know you can make sure that you get through. As it is a celebration of the new release, we are having a giveaway. Altenew are giving away 8 $25 gift certificates to 8 lucky winners. So you need to leave a comment on Altenew's video, and also you can increase your chance of winning by leaving comments on each of the designers along the hop. And those are my cards for today. I really loved working with these. I think that this image, when they're coloured and everything, they're just stunning, really beautiful. And there's some amazing sentiments as well that I used on the inside of my card. So I hope that you liked this video. If you did, then please do give it a thumbs up. I'll have some more details about the products that I use and everything linked at my blog, which will also be linked below. I hope that you have a happy, lovely, wonderful, safe week, and I will see you soon. Stay crafty. Bye.